Is it crooked? Oh, she's heavy. I knew that was gonna happen. You guys are gonna be like, please stop talking about this series. Leave it in 2021. And you know what? No. Oh my god. Guys, give me a second. Guys, I don't know if this is crooked or not. I think we're just gonna have to go with it. Okay. Hello. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to 2022 on my channel. I am so excited for this year of videos and content and reading, and it's just like, it's a fresh start. You know, the new year, it just feels good. And this is my first video of the new year, and we're doing things a bit differently around here. I got rid of, if you've noticed, my intro, and at the end of this, you will also notice my outro. I felt like it was just, I don't know, I didn't want it anymore, and I made that in the beginning of 2021, so I thought to just get rid of it, try something new. I think with vlogs I'll probably do a little bit of a fun intro, but we'll get there when I film a vlog for this year. I'm a little late to this game because I should have posted this video in 2021, but it's fine. It's the first video of 2022, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. But I'm gonna read to you guys and tell you why these were my favorite books of 2021. If I have talked about them too many times, you're just gonna have to deal with it and just stick with me, because you guys wanted to see my favorite books. I asked you on my story what videos you want for the new year, and this was a very requested one. It was either all of the books that I have read in 2021 or my favorite reads of 2021. And I decided to do my favorite ones because if you just watch my bookshelf tour, I basically read off every book I own and I tell you about all the books that I have read. So if you're wondering, in all the books I've read in general, not just 2021, watch that, but majority of them were that year because that's when I got really into reading. So 2021 was a great year, but we are in a new year. I'm going to be reading you off and telling you about my favorite books. Before we get started, I do have some new books from Book of the Month I'm going to tell you about. I love Book of the Month. You guys know this. You get a little box, and when you open it up, you get a fun book. Alright, so this box says you've got great taste. I don't know why I said that in an accent, but it says you've got great taste and you always get a bookmark. It says put me in, coach. I love their bookmarks. I'm using one right now on my current read. This one says life is hard covers. I love their bookmarks. They make me happy. The one in the box is The Maid by Nita Prose. Just to give you a little background on Book of the Month, if you've not heard of them, if you are new here, they are a super popular and fast growing online book service for readers. Basically, they have a team that vets hundreds of books each month and gives the readers their own choice from a curated selection of books that are new, early release titles. That's what's so amazing about them. You get like the first look at newer books and newer authors and stuff, which happened to me with Love Hypothesis. I got it so early, like right kind of when it came out, and it was just like one of my favorite books, you guys know. And they just want to help promote new and emerging authors and help readers just discover books they love. They are risk-free. You can skip any month at any time. If you have like a backed up reading TBR list and you just want to skip a month, you could do that. You will not be charged, and they have the best prices for new release hardcover fiction, which is amazing. We love that. You can get your first book for just $9.99 with my code SARACARROLLI. I'll put it on the screen. I'll have it linked down below. All of the links to Book of the Month and my specific links and also the books that I got will be in the description. So if you are interested, if you are wondering, we're gonna get into the books that I got now. Really interested in this one because I read it, like what it was about, and it sounded like so interesting. Also, Book of the Month books that I get, their covers and the colors and just the pictures on these books are phenomenal. They are so pretty. But okay, Reckless Girls, and it was about, I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, they're on an island, there's 6 of them, people go missing and stuff like that, and they have to like figure all that stuff out, and I just like, this intrigued me. I'm very excited about this one. And then I got The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis. Again, ooh, okay, the cover, beautiful. The Black Cake by I'm gonna say Charmaine Wilkerson. Cover, again, amazing, incredible. Fiona and Jane by Jean Chen Ho. The illustrations I just love. And then this romance, Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. Very excited. Those are all the Book of the Month books I got. Again, you can use my code SARACARROLLI for your first book to be $9.99, which is a steal for the hardcovers. So check everything down below. We're gonna get into my favorite books of 2021. I'm not gonna give you what they're really about. I'm gonna tell you why I personally love them so much and why they stuck out to me more than the other books that I read. I wrote it down somewhere. I wrote it on a piece of paper. Usually I write it in my notes, but it's on a piece of paper. I have 15 books, but some are to get, you'll see. We're gonna get into it. Okay, starting off strong, Normal People by Sally Rooney. This one I loved and stuck out to me because it's unlike any book that I've ever read. It's very conversational, it's very character development, not really plot driven, more character, which I'm personally more of a plot driven book than character. I don't know. It goes both ways, but this one, such crazy character development. It's just like the lack of communication, but then the way that they're like the two main characters are so connected, but without like having to speak or anything. Like you feel it throughout the book and you feel it growing and you know that they're just like meant for each other no matter like what. It was beautiful in my eyes. I know this is a hit or miss for some people. Some people don't really like understand it, get it, like it, which is totally understandable. It really spoke to me, I think. I don't know really what it was, but I loved it. And then the little mini series on Hulu, the adaptation of this was just phenomenal. It really like brought the book to life, so it stuck out to me by far out of like almost all of the books that I read. And it's also a pretty shorter book. I think it was only like almost 300 pages, but it was really short, and I loved it. And it was my first Sally Rooney book too, so very good. All right, so this one I don't really talk about often, honestly. I always forget that I've read this, but I read this over the summer. It's called 28 Summers by Elle Hilderbrand. I am a big Elle Hilderbrand stan, but more in the summer. I've said this in a previous video. She writes mostly like the setting is on Nantucket, which is more of like a summer vibe. I know she has a few books that are like a winter, I don't know, but the ones that I have read, it's like summer read. So this one I read when I was on a little vacation, and I read it on the beach, like a beach vacation, and it was like the right setting, the right time to read this book, and everything just felt right. And this book, it was so good. I read it so quick, and it's a pretty thick book. I mean, it is the smaller version, but I just love the way Ellen writes. I love her plot. I love the characters. I don't know, it's just it flows very well. It all makes sense. I cried at the end of this book, and when I need an Elle Hilderbrand book, like it hits, and I just love her writing. If you ever need a good summer read, definitely try out Elle Hilderbrand. I love her so much. Okay, more recently, I have not talked about this duology on my channel just yet. At the end of this month, I'm gonna do what I read in December and January, because in December I didn't read a lot. I read like 4 books maybe. I don't know, it wasn't enough to really make a video on it, so between that month and January, I'm gonna put them all together. But this will be included, so I'm not gonna say too much about it, but I will say they stuck out, and they did good. That's all I'm gonna say, because I want to give my full thoughts in that video and what I read, and like give my like summary and how I felt reading them and everything. I wish I filmed a reading vlog for these two. I'm so like disappointed in myself that I didn't, because it was my first like real fantasy and like a duology, and just like really getting into characters, and I didn't think I was gonna like it starting off, because like I'm usually a contemporary romance gal, but these books were just unlike what I expected myself to like, you know? I didn't expect to be so connected to characters in my life. Guys, just wait until I get into it in my video at the end of the month. So I don't have the first one with me, but this is also another one I'm going to be talking about at the end of the month that I just read recently. This is the second one in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and then the first one I lent to my brother's girlfriend to read. So I don't have it with me, but I just finished it, and I filmed a reading vlog for that one, so you guys will get that soon. I am including the first two because this is like a thriller, my first young adult thriller or mystery, and they were so fast paced, and I really liked how I'm going to talk about it more at the end of the month. I'm not going to give too much away, but I liked how fast paced it was, and how the characters weren't confusing, and it was like I was trying to solve the murder with her. I wasn't trying to like, I don't know, it was a different read of a mystery, I don't know, and I just really liked it. Again, it was young adult, so it was an easy read, but I flew through the first two, and it was just like, I was in it, you know? It was just really good. The third one I have right here. This is my TBR list, for kind of my TBR list, but I started the third one and I just couldn't get into it, so it's not with the first two. I'm a little disappointed that it was my first book that I DNF'd, but I'm gonna get back to it. I know I will. I'm gonna have to finish it. I won't be able to live with myself if I don't finish it. I just can't DNF a book. But the first two definitely stood out to me. Definitely loved them. Again, another book that I recently read that's gonna be at the end of the month. Addicted to You. Okay, here's the thing. This stood out to me. I don't know if it's because it was so high on my TBR list and so hyped for me to read it, and everyone was telling me like, you're gonna love it, all this stuff, that I read it. I finished it in a few days, but I didn't rate it because I don't know how I felt about it completely. It definitely stuck out to me because it's unlike characters I've ever read in my life that you could see kind of the highlighted stuff, whatever, but like I've never read a book with the characters having this kind of relationship and stuff and dependency on each other, so that's why it stuck out to me. But I just haven't rated it. I guess we'll talk about that when I talk about what I read in January, December with this series, because I am on the second one right now. I am reading Ricochet. I literally just started it, so I'm only like 10 pages in, but it stuck out to me because it's just like I felt this one, you know? But I just haven't rated it, you know? I really have to let it absorb, and maybe when I read further into the series, because it's a very long series, I literally just ordered the next 3. I don't really know. I just felt like I should include this. You guys are gonna say, please stop talking about this series, please put it away and leave it in 2021, and fine, I will after. This is the last time maybe I'll speak about it. Actually, probably not. Whatever, I'm gonna say it. The Off-Campus series, you guys know, I love this series. Again, if you have been here, the first one is still at my schoolhouse and I've been filming at home on break, but these are just, they have stuck with me. I think about them often. I think about the characters often. I know a lot of people tell me that there's the legacy, which I mentioned that I still have to get, and Briar U and all of that. Like, there's more to the series and to the whole world of the Off-Campus Briar U that I have to get to, but these just stuck with me. They felt realistic. I loved all the characters. I loved the books. I loved everything that connected. I love this series. You cannot get me to stop talking about it. I don't care. I loved it. I love them. So if you want a good series, a good contemporary, all of them contemporary romances, but like it wasn't boring, I just stand this series so hard. You guys asked what my favorite books were, and you knew this one was coming, or these ones were coming. I have one more paperback with me, and then the rest I think were on my Kindle, or I just don't have with me. My favorite book of all time, guys, listen to me, of all time. Love in Other Words by Christina. I've read The Unhoneymooners by them, and it did not hit like this book has hit. I think one of my favorite tropes is like childhood friends to lovers, I think, and second chance I love, and the way it was written. I love when they like interact as kids and their relationship grows from such like a young age, and just like a huge connection that you feel when they're younger than when they don't even know that they're like connecting like that. Oh, it's just my favorite book in the entire world, and I don't take that lightly. You guys know I'm a harsh rater. Someone told me the other day, they were like, you rate really like, you're a harsh rater, and I was like, you know what, I am. It's hard for me to give a 5 out of 5. I have to like love the book, and this book, I said it a few times that I wasn't an annotator when I read it, so I'm a little bummed about that, but I am gonna go back in here. I'm gonna reread it when I feel like it's time, and I'm going to annotate the shit out of this book. If you need a book from any video I've talked about, I say this every time I talk about this book, just read this. Just, if you have not yet, read it. Thank you. On my list of books left over, I have The Hating Game. Now this one I wasn't gonna talk about because I've talked about it before. It's like really popular now, there's a movie and all that kind of stuff, but it is one of my favorites from the year. It's one that stuck with me throughout the year. Like I would always like kind of relate like a bunch of romance books to that one and how that one made me feel, and I just felt like that one was also pretty fast paced. I loved all the sceneries and stuff that happened, and I felt like it was very like, when you read books, enemies to lovers, like you'll always get the trope where there's like one bed in the hotel and all this kind of stuff, kind of like The Love Hypothesis, which is also on my list, so I guess I'll talk about them together. They felt kind of similar to me. The fake dating, those were two romances that I just felt were so done so well. Love Hypothesis I read in a day. It's like once you start reading it, you cannot stop. Both characters are phenomenal. Their connection, chemistry, everything about it is just so good. That is a book that will stick with me forever, and it's just like a light-hearted read. It's really fun, and it's just like so good, and you just love it so much. It's like one that like it'll stick with me forever. But then The Hating Game was one of like the first romances that I kind of read last year that like I really loved, and I think I read it like earlier in the year on my Kindle, and it was just like, I don't know, the ending was great. Like it was just one that I just like, it felt really well rounded, and I loved it. The movie, I think if you're gonna make something out of a book, it should be a TV show. It should never be a movie, because you cannot add in all of the little details and stuff in an hour and a half, 2 hours. And people always say that readers are so picky when they make a movie, but like we love the book so much that if you don't do it justice, it's just like it hurts, you know, because we have a whole envision of the book in our head. I didn't love it. I didn't picture Josh like that at all. He didn't do it for me. Well, I guess I just knocked 2 more books off of my list. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I don't talk about this book often either. I kind of forget sometimes that I read it, because when I read it I was kind of busy. School just started and I was just like, I was all over the place, but I read it and it was a book that was so beautiful and kind of stuck with me, really. I loved that book. I don't know, I've never read a book like that. The main guy, character, like the love interest, the male, is deaf, and they have to use like the sign language, and that's like the way they connect, and I've never read a book like that, so that one really stuck with me, and I thought the way that it was written was beautiful. The ending was something that I didn't picture coming. It was just like, I don't know, I just loved it so much. I loved the setting of where they were. It was like a small town that she moved to. I don't know, I loved that book like a lot. I feel like not a lot of people talk about that much anymore, but it was like really high up there on my favorite romances. I just don't really talk about it often. I don't know why I forget about it, but so good. And then if you guys want to see my list, you see how I have all these books at the top? Do you see this section? This is Colleen Hoover's section. Okay, she got her own section because you guys knew it was gonna come. I didn't want to throw it in the beginning of the video because you guys would have skipped over and you would have said, Sarah, stop talking about her and stop talking about her books. We get it, you like her. But no, I love her, and I'm gonna include every book that I read in 2021 that was Colleen Hoover, because all of them stuck with me. All of them were amazing. I would reread all of them in a heartbeat, and I cannot wait for reminders of him to get in my hands and for me to read it. I am gonna film a reading vlog of that one because I'm so excited. I want to read, okay, we're not gonna get there. We're not gonna get to my TBR of Colleen, but I'm gonna read to you all of the Colleen books that I have read that are just in my heart. They are part of my favorite books of 2021 because I love all of them. Okay, It Ends With Us. That was the first book I read of Colleen, and honestly, I didn't see a TikTok of it. I don't know where I saw the book. I don't know if it was just like in Barnes & Noble or I just read the back of it. I didn't find it when it was hyped. I was reading it and then it was like gaining a lot of traction, and I was like, oh wow, like I'm reading a really popular book, and I loved it. It was my first Colleen, and that one has a special place in my heart because it was one of my first ones that got me on the Colleen grind. But okay, It Ends With Us. We have Verity, Ugly Love, Layla, Hopeless, November 9th. That one, It hurts. Heartbones, Regretting You, All Your Perfects, and Confess. I'm not really gonna say anything about them. I'm just gonna say that they will stick with me forever, and they are definitely part of my favorites of 2021 because every time I've read a Colleen book, I have flown through them. I have loved the characters. I don't know what kind of magic she puts in it, guys. Okay, those were all the books of 2021 that stuck out to me, that I really liked, that just were my favorites, you know? That was it. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. I am so excited for my 2022 content. I have a lot of other, I don't know why I was writing on paper. Usually I write my notes on my phone or computer, but I have a bunch of videos that you guys wanted to see from me. I have videos planned out. You will get how I annotate, because a lot of people are asking, the first week of February. Okay, I know that's in a few weeks, but I have some videos that just have to go out in January, but you are gonna get it soon. Maybe I should stop talking now. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more from me in the future, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next one. Bye! Happy New Year!